This Ambessa took Ignite, so she actually has a good amount of kill pressure on me early. The main thing that you need to keep in mind about this matchup is that you have to play it very slowly in the early game and not overforce. Ambessa has way too many dashes because she can just dash after every single spell use. So what you want to try to do ideally is force her to dash into you a few times and then you can chase her. And you will be able to chase her if she has like one spell left because of your R slow plus approach velocity. It will allow you to stick to her and then 1v1 her and deal a bunch of damage. But if you overcommit and overforce, you're not gonna be able to do that and she's basically always going to win the trade. In the lane, you can basically awaken W all the time. And I recommend putting a few points into your W first. If you play AP Udyr, you can actually start Doran's Ring, rush a Bramblevest, and then go for a Riftmaker or Liandry. And this can work just fine into Ambessa and it's okay. But if you play AD Udyr, I recommend starting Tear of the Goddess and trying to put some points in your W first. What you're looking to do is get to your Ravenous Hydra, because once you get that Ravenous, you can essentially full heal off of every single wave after a fight, or even in the middle of the fight sometimes, unless Ambessa buys Heal Cut. And after Ravenous Hydra, you can get a Serpent's Fang for Ambessa's W shield, and if you see that she has Eclipse, it's even better. You will straight up one-shot her the moment you get that Serpent in most cases. Just remember that you always need to let her burn a few dashes and then you can go on her. If you don't do that, she can space you and then win the 1v1. After Serpent's Fang, you can go for a Mortal Reminder or a Hole Breaker, and this will allow you to perma-sit on side lane and push down towers, and she can't exactly stop you. But in the lane, just try to awaken W a lot, put some points into it and play it slow, because she can poke you out if you don't have those W points.
Been slain.
Not choice.
Ambessa starts dashing into me very aggressively, and I would have loved to fight her here after she uses those dashes, but Jace was nearby. So because of that, I had to try to disengage. I couldn't take a fight.
Killing spree.
In my opinion, this is a skill matchup, and it's easier to play AD Udyr into Trundle than it is to play AP Udyr. And this is because as AP Udyr, you're never gonna be able to outright 1v1 Trundle, you basically just need to play for the waves. You might be able to kill him in the early game once or twice, but that's about it. Afterwards, you just kinda have to perma-clear waves and then run to team fights or try to get something else. In the beginning, you start off as AP by putting 1 point into your R or maybe 2 or 3, but afterwards you're going to max your Q. It is especially important to put 1 point in your R, and this is because it can help you tremendously to kite Trundle. Whenever you press that R, he will be slowed down as he walks towards you, which means he won't be able to stick to you, and that is huge in this matchup, because what Trundle wants to do is put down his W zone and then bite you with his Q and auto attack you. On top of that, his Q steals attack damage, but you don't really care about the AD steal in the early game, and that is because you start with your Doran's Ring and might put a few points into your R. If you actually manage to kill him before your first recall, you don't have to put more points into your R, but 3 points R is very safe. This lane essentially devolves into a burst contest. When you get on top of Trundle, you need to straight up one-shot him basically every single time, which is why I go Ravenous Hydra into Mortal Reminder. If Trundle buys plated steel caps and uses his ultimate, he will actually be quite tanky, so Mortal Reminder cuts out his healing and it gives you armor penetration. After Mortal Reminder, you can go for a Hull Breaker and sit on side lane and split push, and it will get to the point where you're gonna be able to outright dive him from full health. Just remember that in the early game you have to use your R field to actually kite him a bit. If Trundle runs Ignite, he will have some good kill pressure, but if he doesn't, it's not that bad for you. The moment you win a single 1v1 against Trundle in the mid to late game, you basically always win it, and he has to sit under turret the entire game. If he doesn't sit under tower, you charge at him and then burst him instantly. This is a skilled matchup and it heavily depends on how both of you play. The main thing you need to do is awaken your W every single time you expect him to do the combo of Q plus W plus E. And this is how you're gonna trade into him essentially every single time. He does that short combo and then you awaken W and you tank very little damage and then you walk away. And you repeat this process until he finally goes out of mana or you are able to finally get some good damage on him. Because if you stay and fight him for longer in the early game, he's gonna be able to bite you again and heal and do more damage, so you don't want to let him do that. If the Volibear plays it much slower and doesn't go for this combo, don't engage him because you're just gonna die. And this is because the one that forces more will end up losing this lane most of the time. Eventually you will outscale him on the side lane, but be careful not to overcommit in fights if you see him playing super passively. You can put a few points into your W if you wish, but honestly I don't think it's all that needed unless you overforce fights. If the Volibear goes for something like Dusk and Dawn or Riftmaker, you're good to go in the 1v1 basically every single time the moment you get your first legendary item, which will be Ravenous Hydra. The moment you get Ravenous Hydra, you can basically one-shot him through his E shield and W healing as long as you have your Ignite. But if he goes for a more defensive item like a Frozen Heart or Iceborne Gauntlet, then it's gonna be a bit trickier, because that means you will always need heal reduction, so you're gonna need to buy that Executioners, and you might even need the armor penetration of Mortal Reminder. So you might need to wait for the combo of Ravenous Hydra plus Mortal Reminder to 1v1 him. He's just gonna stun you with his Q and then walk away and even tag you with his W, and then eventually he will just out-sustain you in the 1v1 because of his W heal. But again, you just need to play it slowly and you will be able to outscale him, so Volibear is forced to fight you. After Mortal Reminder, you can also go for a Serpent's Fang, and that will also reduce his E shield. Even a Navori Volibear will be destroyed by you, and this is because your burst is just absolutely disgusting starting at 2 or 3 items. And then afterwards you can go for a Hullbreaker and permaset on side lane. It is also extremely important to put 1 point into your R, and this is because you need to use that R field to kite around him. When he charges at you with his Q, you can activate your R and slow him down, and then he might not be able to tag you with that stun, which means you can re-engage and fight him and win the trade. It is super crucial to play around that zone. Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
Retreat is not failure. We heal and we try again.